Well, I think there was obviously a lot of positives for us to take away from this. But I think so many times we really forget about what this guy did. And Georgia is a very good baseball team, very talented, very well coached. And CJ pitched a whale of a game. Certainly it was nice to get key hits and key plays. And Salvi had a lot to do with that. And Timmy, of course, had another exceptional night. But I think what we, as Florida State baseball, must not only remember, but be aware of, this tournament is a long way from being over. We know that. We know that the host school will be playing tomorrow. And we know we're gonna have to have the same effort in order to accomplish what we wanted to do. But it was certainly an encouraging game for us, but we just can't, as a friend of mine used to say, we just can't eat the cheese. We got to keep getting better. We've got to approach tomorrow's game with an idea that we got to get better. And let's hope that we can get the effort and a starting performance from our pitcher.
Questions for coaches, student athletes?
Mike, talk about the approach you guys had, and of course, you've had some great years. Just talk about what you guys, converse amongst yourselves going in, and what you're going to try to do to make him be quite not as successful as he has been in a while.
Yeah, I think it's just trusting the people around you and playing for the guy behind you, and kind of knowing your roles on the team, get on base, and trust each other. Don't try to do too much in situations, and just kind of, like I said, the main thing is just having trust in each other and just staying within ourselves and having fun while we're playing.
CJ, the last 8 starts, it feels like the bigger the competition, the better you pitch. I know you're an emotional guy the way you like to pitch. Just how do you use that type of environment like tonight and then use that to your advantage?
Well, it's definitely a huge game for us tonight, and I just try to keep that same energy every time I pitch, and no team's going to phase us or phase me, so I'm just keeping the same energy, keeping my head down, getting a win for our team.
CJ, what's your approach in kind of shrugging off the early runs and the early hits and kind of settling down?
Well, we always focus on just throw it away. Next pitch, always about the next pitch, get the next guy out, get the next ground ball, double play. It's always about moving on, leaving the pass behind you.
CJ, it seemed like there was a lot of trash being talked, at least early in the game. Just how much did that play in, and how much did you enjoy going out there?
Well, with two great teams like us, and the situation that this game was in, what type of game it was, like I had a feeling there's gonna be some high energy, and I think it pumped us up. It definitely gave us some confidence to go out there and just keep going.
CJ, I'm sorry. CJ, obviously, I mean, you're not going up against him, but you knew how good the opposing pitcher was tonight. Is that something you really can use as motivation for yourself going into a game?
Absolutely. I knew he was a good guy and great pitcher. I knew he was going to throw strikes and do his best against us. But yeah, it's definitely some more motivation going up against a top guy like that too.
Tim, I think the bottom 3 in y'all's order had 9 RBIs tonight. What can you say about the spark that the lift that gave to the team tonight?
No, it was huge. Definitely our role at the bottom of the order is to turn it over to Mike and the guys. So I think we did a good job of that tonight.
Your home run was kind of the spark plug for the offense. It was the first run of the game. At what point did you guys kind of know as a lineup that, okay, we're seeing Hancock pretty well, we can see his pitches?
From the get-go, we knew he's a dog on the mound for sure. He's a great pitcher. We were just trying to attack him early, not let him get ahead in the count. I think we did that well in the first inning, just kept it rolling.
Mike, what does it do for you guys seeing the 7, 8, 9 hitters hitting the way that they're hitting right now?
I think it, like I said, it sparks everybody on the team, and hitting is definitely contagious, and you get energy and you get moments like that when those guys come through big. And I mean, when you hope just have your whole lineup click at once, and we're just, I mean,
11, similarly, I mean, with Carter, Tim, and really even Nander, what they did tonight at the bottom of the lineup, you see so often the first-year players kind of hit that wall and never really got all the way through it. Just seeing what they did tonight, and what did that mean?
Kurt, I think it's about watching 18, 19-year-old young men mature as baseball players. We're still seeing mistakes, but at the same time, you're seeing outstanding plays. Take Desadas for an example. That play he made up the middle was big time. And trying to figure out how our shortstop got an error, but I might want to talk to the official scorer because that was a long way to go to get that ball. And if I'm a hitter, I'm going to say, daggone. But anyway, it was a well-played game defensively for us, and certainly great job of pitching.
Tim, I
Coach.
think
Coach, you've been in this position a lot, win the first 2 games of a regional. How does it change your approach when you win the first 2 games as opposed to, having to go through the loser's bracket?
Well, obviously, I look back to the Florida series, and when you lose, you don't ever forget it. There was some jubilation other times, but you just have to look at tomorrow as if this day did not occur. Tomorrow, these young men know what they have to do to be successful. We know we can't give 4th and 5th outs. We know we've got to be aggressive in some spots. RBI situations. I like the way we're playing now. Obviously, that's probably an understatement, but nothing has been decided.
For Coach Martin, obviously if you could be the host team, you'd want to be, but is there something to be said for when you're on the road and theoretically not the favorite? Is it easier for the team to be relaxed in that scenario, you think?
If you have a veteran team, I would have to say yes, that does work in your favor. When you have 4 freshmen starting, I don't think I can say that. But I will say this about our freshmen, and I'll repeat myself. I'm watching them grow with each game, and they're improving with each game.
Tim, are you getting used to this at all? Sitting and talking to us after games?
Second time, yeah, feels good.
What do you think your home run did? He had kind of looked at your dugout a couple times after the first 2 innings after getting out of jams, and then you start that very next inning with a home run to right. What do you think that just did for the team?
It was definitely a spark, just got to be there when the team needs you most. So saw a fastball to hit early in the count, just went after it, and good things happened.
And CJ and Mike, I guess if y'all could talk about that too, what his home run did to just the energy of the dugout. Maybe CJ, you particularly, you seemed to pitch a little more fire after you got back on the mound.
Absolutely, it was absolutely huge, especially from a guy like that. It's been hot for us lately, and definitely we kind of anticipated it. Him getting a hit, definitely, but that ball leaving the yard definitely sparked us up, definitely.
time for 2 more questions. Tim, I mean, you described last night, I think, as surreal. How do you describe, adding on now to the last 2 days, really? Just how do you put that into words?
I just look at today as a total team win, success for all of us. But we just got to put in the rearview mirror after today and go back to work tomorrow. A lot of work to do.
Sorry, Tim. 11A decision on who gets the ball tomorrow.
We have not decided yet. When we get back to the hotel, we'll make that decision. I apologize for not being able to. Could be a so-called either-or situation, but we do have some young men that are rested